Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody to our program this evening. We've got a lot of things to talk about, a ton of things to talk about. It's incredible what we've been able to dig up. Now, over the last 3 days, Elon Musk and Doge has unearthed a terabyte of data that the Democrats erased. The Democrats erased a terabyte of data before Trump took office. That data included everything the Democrats had done to go after Trump. That data included everything that they had done to go after President Trump. All the lies, all the data, facts, figures, and names. Elon Musk and Doge has uncovered it. And guess what? Now the Attorney General has gotten hold of it. The DOJ and the FBI has gotten hold of it. Heads are going to roll in the Democrat Party. They've got names, they've got dates, and they've got times of incidents that the Democrat Party has raised all kinds of hell for President Trump, including times that the Democrat Party, including Biden, spoke to the judges that have caused all kinds of havoc for President Trump, including that DA from New York, Alvin Bragg. Unreal the things that they've done. They had invited Alvin Bragg and his entourage from New York to come over to the White House, including, guess what? Judge Juan Merchan. And his daughter, who fundraised for Biden, making millions of dollars herself fundraising for Biden. And Juan Merchan contributed millions of dollars to Biden's campaign. And even that, the Vice President of the United States, Harris, and her campaign. Heads are going to roll in the Democrat Party, I believe, starting this week into next week. All kinds of heck is going to roll. Incredible what they've discovered. I've only gotten a part of it. I've only gotten a small part of it, but heads are going to roll within the Democrat Party. It's incredible what is going on. I can't even believe what's going on myself. Had I not seen some of this stuff, I would not have believed it. It's incredible what they're doing here. Okay? The Democrat Party and the judges, what really blows my mind of everything? The judges went after President Trump, trying to stop him. Why? Because the judges thought they were the president themselves. They thought they controlled the presidential reins of office. They were not the ones sworn into office. The judges had no business doing the things they've done. And now, Doge has turned the investigation over to the FBI and the Federal Attorney General's office. Heads are going to roll. It's incredible. I've got all kinds of information now that I'm trying to work on to present in a chronological order of things that have happened. I'm going to probably either come on the air tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon early and give you the information because it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Okay? Mary Endure of Knott says, I sure hope you are right. Trust in God. I totally agree. I believe everybody needs to be right. Everybody needs to be right with God. But guys, guess what? These people that went after President Trump have not had their lives right with God in quite some time. Otherwise, they would not have done what they've done. Mary Endure of Knott says these judges are like the pharaohs. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But it's incredible what is going on. I would not have ever thought that this would happen. Not in my wildest imaginations had I thought that this would happen. Never. But it has. And like I said, heads are going to roll within the federal government. It's interesting to note that Kash Patel, the FBI director, and his assistant director, Dan Bongino, have sworn that they're going to do their investigations and cross the T's and dot their I's. Well, guess what? DOGE has also helped. In its efforts, DOGE has uncovered millions and billions of dollars of fraud and waste. And they continue getting $250 to $950 million of fraud, waste, and abuse every day. It's incredible what they're turning up. It's happening. They've gotten into the Social Security system. As President Trump said weeks ago in his State of the Union address, Elon Musk has uncovered people over 120 years of age getting Social Security checks every month. Even one person that was allegedly 386 years old, which would have been back in the time of the days during the Civil War. This is how corrupt the system has been. The Social Security system did not even start until the 1940s. And yet, this is the kind of corruption that's been going on. And checks have been cashed. It's not as if these people really existed, which they don't. But checks have been cashed. Heads are going to roll there as well. That money's been stopped. Those payments from Social Security have been stopped. Not just that. The payments that USAID had put out to governments from condoms and other stupid things, teaching other countries roles of how to control DEI and how to start an LGBTQ movement in their countries. All that's coming to a screeching halt. What business does the United States have in teaching other countries how to start an LGBTQ movement? Incredible. But this is what's been going on under the Democrat administration. Fraud, waste, and abuse all over the place. Incredible. Totally incredible. Alan Newton's here in the chat saying before the American Revolution. In fact, yes, absolutely. But what is going on? What is going on that our system could not be found out before now? It's insane. It's totally insane. Anyway, like I said, I've got a lot of stuff to show you. I want to start off this program tonight talking about Myanmar. We all know what's been happening in Myanmar. Okay? A powerful 8.7 earthquake hit in Myanmar Friday night into Saturday morning. 8.7 with a 6.4 magnitude aftershock some 12 minutes later, and multiple 6.0, 6.4s, 6.5s, 5.0s, 5.5s, 5.8s, and a lot of 4s and 3s as well have happened ever since. Buildings are continuing to crumble and fall down. Buildings are still crumbling and falling down over Myanmar and down over into Thailand as well. Incredible. 600 miles away, and buildings are still falling down. This was a very powerful earthquake. It was not a 7.7 like the USGS said it was. Much of the search and rescue activity has been confined to 3 of the country's largest cities. Mandalay, home to 1.2 million people. Naypyidaw, the country's new capital, third of the most populous city, and a city called Sangay, the city closest to the epicenter. The earthquake destroyed 8-lane highways in Naypyidaw, the capital, especially near the capital's new airport. The air traffic control tower was knocked off its foundation. It's still not known if anybody can even work in that control tower, but planes are landing in the airport. We have a lot of things going on, folks. Okay? We have search and rescue teams from all over the world coming into Mandalay, landing there. At least 500 Muslims were killed in a mosque during prayers Friday night and Saturday. Numerous small and isolated rural villages were also damaged, but access to them has become very limited because the roads and highways outside of Mandalay have been badly damaged. Fissures opened up, great big huge fissures opened up. Even the roadway has been dismantled. One part of the roadway might be 18 inches above the other part of the roadway. Big huge holes in the roadway opened up, just like we said is going to happen when the Cascadia earthquake happens and when the pneumatic fault happens. Exactly. Numerous roads and isolated villages are also damaged, but access to them exactly is limited. In most cases, the only rescue activities are coming from local villagers. The military junta, as I spoke of them yesterday, that has ruled Myanmar since a 2021 coup, has declared a state of emergency in 6 areas: Sagaing, Mandalay, Magway, the eastern Shan state, Naypyidaw, the capital, and Bago. The United Nations estimates over 28 million people in 6 regions need assistance. The military has also made a rare request for humanitarian aid from the international community, which is unusual and a very clear signal of the extent of the problem. The full extent of the damage may not be known for weeks. The junta is limiting foreign journalists access to their state and their country, meaning most information is being shared through other sources, not first-hand experiences. The United States Geological Survey issued a red alert. They issued a red alert indicating they believed there would be a high number of fatalities and significant economic impact. On Saturday, we found information on the USGS site that they believed there might be even as close to 100,000 casualties from this event. 100,000 people dead from this very event, and many more injured. Right now, that total, as far as we know, is over 2,071 people have been found dead. But again, no one's been able to get underneath the rubble. Nobody's been able to get really underneath the rubble to find any bodies. As they are able to do that, as heavier machinery comes in, they're going to find more and more people trapped in the rubble. And then those numbers are going to skyrocket. If, and this is a big if we can get some journalists in there to give us the right information. Again, they're asking for humanitarian aid, doctors and nurses especially, blood products, medical first aid kits, asking for everything to help their people. Now, does anybody have any questions about any of this that I've talked about? I know there's a lot to talk about here. Anybody have any questions about what happened in Myanmar or anything else that's going on there? We've been talking about this every day since it happened. We came on the air Saturday morning early to talk about this. I've talked about it every day since then. We have quite a few people in here in the chat, and I appreciate all of you being here. My buddy Surgery is here from northern Utah. My buddy Don Patoka from Sandy, Utah is here. Catherine Sigerson from Canada is here. Irene Steffi is here from North Carolina, or near where I live, just east of where I live. We have Demon Catman from the east of England. Linda Covington from Virginia. Arnold Smith from over in Alberta, Canada. Appreciate you here as well. Let's see, who else is here? Judy Olson's here from Southern California. Thank you for being here, Judy. Alan Newton's here. let's see. Marianne Doer of Knots is here. Debbie J.H. is here. Thank you so much for being here. Texas Lady is here. Now anyway, if I recognize any other names, or even if I don't recognize them as they come into our chat and into our program tonight, I will recognize them here on the air. I want to first do some housekeeping here. If you have not already done so, give us a thumbs up on this broadcast. Please give us a thumbs up. That would be greatly appreciated. YouTube uses the thumbs up to ascertain whether or not they're going to allow anybody to see this program. We need that. We need that, guys. The number of people also that watch this program, YouTube uses that number as well. Now, honestly, if you come to this show tonight and you're only here for a short time, you're not going to get anything out of it. Please stay here for a while. Please let us show you what we have to show you. Give us a chance. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. The amount of time you're here will give you also the added benefit of the information we're going to give you. If you don't stay here for very much more than a few minutes, you're not going to get that information. And some of this information tonight might save your life and the life of others. I'm just telling you. I know how it goes. Been there, done that. I want to give everybody the chance to be here and get as much information that you can to save your lives and the lives of others, including members of your own family. Now, why do I say that? Because things that are happening here that we talked about on this program are going to affect you in the future. You think this earthquake is not just going to affect Myanmar? It's just going to affect this area? You're wrong. Even India is now wondering what's going to happen to them. Up along the Himalaya mountains in northern India, they're now expecting this 8.7 energy to pop over into the Himalaya mountains and raise all kinds of havoc on their northern border with Nepal and China. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. That energy moves north and west. All the energy moves north and west. So we are going to see that happen. I promise you, it will happen. It might even happen before the end of this week. We're seeing all kinds of things happen now. Let's go over the worldwide map here on USGS. There's a lot of information we want to share with you here as well. Let me take down the damage report from Myanmar here, and let's show you the USGS map here. Take down my smiling face, take down our banner here, and let's open up to the USGS map. A lot of earthquakes have happened. Why have these earthquakes happened, you might ask? Guess what? There is a huge sunspot on the sun that is Earth facing. It has launched a large amount of plasma radiation out into space, coming right towards the Earth. As a result of that, that plasma radiation rains down on the Earth, goes down to bodies on the Earth, animals, all of us here on the Earth. It has an effect on each one of our bodies. Besides that, when this radiation hits us, it goes down into the ground, heats up the plates, heats up the earthquake faults. All the stuff that's been holding the faults and the plates in place, all the gunk and grime, all the rocks, all the sand, all the biological material heats up with that plasma radiation. That plasma radiation also goes towards the core of the Earth. So the core of the Earth is also getting heated up by that plasma radiation. But what happens when the plates heat up? All that gunk and grime, the biological material, the sand, stone, gravel, everything turns into an oily, greasy-like substance, allowing the plates to move more freely like this. That's what we're seeing right now today. That's exactly what we're seeing now today, moving just like this. Also, the earthquake faults more freely move like this. It would not surprise me to see the San Andreas Fault, or even the Hayward Fault up in San Francisco, or the Calaveras Fault in San Francisco move, or possibly even the New Madrid and or the Cascadia subduction zone. The same kind of principles apply here. The same principles apply here. I kid you not. Everybody needs to be ready for whatever happens. Everyone. You and I and everybody else. Our lives depend on it, guys. Our lives depend on it. Let's go down here to the southern Pacific Antarctic Ridge, down here. This earthquake happened last night, just after we left the air. This is a 6.3 very strong earthquake. 6.3 very strong earthquake. Guess what? This seismic energy is going to move along this Antarctic ridge here. It's going to move along and go over here to South America. And then this seismic energy is going to move up the coast of South America as well. So we're going to see increased seismic energy here in South America. Notice this while we're here with South America. Notice that the US BS, and yes, they're just talking BS, they're not showing any seismic activity over here in South America. However, there are 24 earthquakes here in South America. Most of those are in Chile, central and northern Chile, going up into Peru, Ecuador, and Colombia. But USPS is not talking about it. Why not? Because they're too stupid. Yes, I'm calling the U.S. agency stupid. That's exactly what they are. Too stupid to get their acts together. I have nothing good to say about that agency. Nothing. It's sad to say. This is an agency that I revered back in college, and even before that. But now I have nothing good to say about them. Let's go over here into the South Pacific, over towards Tonga and Fiji here. Up here in Tonga, again, Pangai, Tonga. What happened here in Pangai, Tonga the other day? We had a 7.2 earthquake here. This is a 5.0 earthquake. This is southeast of Pangai, Tonga. This is a 5.0 earthquake here, aftershock. An aftershock, a large 5.0 aftershock here. This is 92 kilometers east of Pangai, Tonga. Folks, what is the deal here? Pangai, Tonga did not rock and roll. For the most part, the ocean waters of the Pacific Ocean absorbed the shock waves of this quake. I don't believe any island here in Fiji or Tonga even felt this quake, as a result of the Pacific Ocean waters absorbing the shock wave. To the north here, we have a 5.0 earthquake here. This is south-southeast of Hihipo, Tonga. This area has been a hotbed for earthquakes in the past, and it still is. Okay? 5.0 earthquake here. Over here in Fiji here. This is a moderate 4.8 earthquake. This earthquake is a deep earthquake. Going over here to Pangai, Tonga again. This is a shallow earthquake, 10.0. This earthquake up here near Hihipo, Tonga. This is also 48 kilometers deep, a shallow earthquake. But this Fiji earthquake is different. This is a very deep earthquake here. Okay? A 4.8 earthquake, 576 kilometers deep. What does that mean? That deep earthquake signifies that it's going to propagate into a larger, shallow earthquake. A larger, shallow earthquake. At this depth, That shallow earthquake is going to be about a 5.6, 5.7 earthquake. That 5.6, 5.7 earthquake is going to happen within the next week to 10 days. It could happen as soon as 3 days from now. So if you live in the Fiji, the Tonga region, over in Vanuatu, the Solomon Islands, guess what? You may be seeing a large, very strong 5.6, 5.7 earthquake hit here. Now, it could also hit over towards South America as well. That's happened before. But most of these earthquakes happen here in this area, in the same region. That's what I think is going to happen here. Already here to the west, this is Vanuatu. Solo Vanuatu. This is a 4.5 earthquake here. This is a semi-shallow quake, 242 kilometers deep. Still a fairly shallow quake. It's not going to do anything. The waters of the Pacific Ocean absorb the shockwaves of this quake. It's nowhere near land, nowhere near islands. It's 188 kilometers north-northwest of Solo Vanuatu. Okay? 4.5. Further to the west here, this is a 4.5 earthquake here in Kirikira, Solomon Islands. This is also a very shallow quake, 30.3 kilometers deep, shallow earthquake. Now there are other earthquakes over here in Australia. There are other earthquakes over here in Papua New Guinea. They're not talking about it. Earthquakes over here in Indonesia, Papua Indonesia as well. But they're not showing that. They already said they're not going to do it because they don't want to take any responsibility. The USGS is a preeminent seismic agency for the world. Yet our agency doesn't want to take responsibility for anything. Protection of property and protection of lives. That's why we're here. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk all about it. Because I believe in saving lives. Over here in Indonesia, this is 4.3 here in Timor, in the Banda Sea. This is nowhere near a landmass. 247 kilometers northeast of Los Palos, Timor. Out in the ocean, in the Banda Sea. Nothing's going to happen here. The ocean waters absorb the shockwaves of that quake. Going over here in northern Sumatra, a 4.4 earthquake hit here. This is normal, 87 kilometers deep. But look where it was. Look where it was. Right along the shoreline of Sumatra. People live here. People live here. People in this area live in villages. They do not have the money nor the earthquake standards what we do here in the West. Most of their villages get destroyed by an earthquake like this. Yes, it's a moderate earthquake, but moderate earthquakes cause moderate damage. Many of these people are living in cardboard shacks or even wooden shacks. That's the best they can do. Yes, in the bigger cities, they have taller buildings, better built buildings. But out here in these areas here, like this, cardboard and wooden shacks. Unfortunately. Unfortunately. I've seen it happen before. I've seen it happen before. Now, let's go up here to the north. That same earthquake fault, just south and west of Sumatra, comes up here to Myanmar. This is a large 5.0 earthquake here in Myanmar today. It's an aftershock. 5.0 earthquakes are large. They cause massive damage. I've seen it happen. I've been in large 5.0 earthquakes before. Okay? This is also a very shallow quake, which makes it worse than a deep quake. This is a shallow earthquake doing a lot of damage. Further north, this is a 4.7 up here. This is also near Makitia, Myanmar. 4.7 earthquake here, also 10 kilometers deep. Very shallow earthquake. Myanmar is getting hit still. Now again, USGS is not showing all the earthquakes. There's an earthquake that happens here about every 60 seconds. Aftershocks. The aftershocks here are going to continue for months and even years. This was a major quake. That's what major quakes do. We're going to see aftershocks here for years and years and years. Now, that 8.7 earthquake that hit, I've been told now that India is looking for a major earthquake up here in the Himalaya Mountains. It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. Today over here in the Himalaya Mountains up on the north side up in Nepal, this is a 4.3 moderate earthquake here. This is also 52 kilometers deep. The massive earthquake that's going to hit in this region will also be a very shallow quake. And it's going to do massive damage when it hits. It's a matter of time. Right now, the USGS is also not showing all the earthquakes here. Not going to happen. Not going to do it. Over here in the Middle East, they're not showing all the earthquakes hitting here. Not showing any earthquakes here in Europe. There are earthquakes all over this area as we keep reporting here. We have earthquakes over here in the Turkey-Syria border region here. Why do I keep talking about it? Because February 3rd, 2023, 2 years ago, we had a major 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that hit here. Why is that important? Over 5,000 people were killed here, and over 5,000 more were injured. This earthquake also left a great big huge fissure in the ground, 12 miles long. 12 miles long and 18 stories deep. This is exactly what happened over in Myanmar. Great big huge long fissure opened up. That's a deep fissure. The same thing happened here in Myanmar. The same thing happened here in Turkey-Syria border region. It's happening in Antarctica and other places around the earth as well. When we get these kinds of earthquakes, it's going to happen again. It will happen again. Going further over here in Turkey, there's about 18 earthquakes here in Turkey, north, south, east, and west. Over here in the Syria-Turkey border region, there's about 14 earthquakes hitting here. All these are aftershocks of that 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that hit here 2+ years ago. 2 years and some months ago. Unreal. We go over here to the Ionian Sea and over here into the Aegean Sea here. Earthquakes hitting here, but these are not necessarily tectonic plate or earthquake fault earthquakes. These are magmatic earthquakes, vulcanized action here. Magma down beneath the surface causing these earthquakes in the Ionian and the Aegean Sea here. What's happening? What's going to happen? They're going to continue until we have a volcanic eruption here. Yes, we may see an undersea volcano erupt here in the Aegean Sea. We might also see another volcano erupt up here in Amorgos. This is Amorgos. Each one of these islands is a volcano. Down here to the south, this is Santorini. We have earthquakes down here in Santorini, and when this earthquake sequence started, most of the earthquakes were here around Santorini. Now the seismic energy has spread over here into the Aegean Sea here, and over around various islands. We are probably going to see a volcanic eruption here in the Aegean Sea, whether it's on an island or undersea. It's going to happen. It's a matter of time. It really is a matter of time. 14 earthquakes here in Greece. They're not showing any of those. None. Earthquakes here in Sicily and southern Italy here. Earthquakes over here in central Italy right here. 22 earthquakes here. Most of these are tremors and minor 2.1, 2.2 earthquakes, but not all. Not all. We've got another problem I continue to talk about right here. We're having earthquakes here because of volcanic action. Magma beneath the surface is hitting here in southwestern Italy. Why? Because we have a volcano that looks like it's going to erupt. If the seismic energy stops, then there's a chance that this eruption sequence might go away. But so far, the earthquakes have not halted. The earthquakes have not halted. Okay? Seismic energy is still here in southwestern Italy. Continue to hit here. Over here in the Alps Mountains, we have some 2.1, 1.8, 1.7, 1.5, and 1.2 tremors here in the Alps Mountains. Over to the north, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and even France are seeing 2.1, 1.7 tremors and earthquakes here in this area. That's going to continue. It's been continuing for a very long time. A very, very long time. We go down here to the border region of Spain and France, right here. We have 2 earthquakes here. This is normal. A 2.1 and a 2.4 earthquake here. That's completely normal for this area. We go down here into Spain. Most of the earthquakes here are in southern Spain. Just minor earthquakes. Nothing more than minor earthquakes. We go offshore from Spain and Portugal here, in the Azore Islands right here. We have some 2.0s and 3.4 earthquakes here in the Azore Islands. That's also normal. We do have some earthquakes going further out here in the Atlantic Ocean. These earthquakes are over near the Mid-Atlantic Fault like I'm showing you here. Okay? They're just to the east of the Mid-Atlantic Fault. Azore Islands. There are islands here, guys. There are all kinds of islands here. Now, there is one long island here I want to talk about. That's because about 2.5 years, well, not even 2.5, 1.5 years ago here, on this long island, and I don't remember the name of this island, the scientists thought that the volcano on this long island was going to pop. So they evacuated this island. No sooner had they evacuated this island, all of a sudden within 1 week, the earthquake stopped. The earthquake stopped. Why were they so concerned? Why do you think they were so concerned? Because over here in the Canary Islands, we'd also seen earthquakes, especially over here at La Palma. La Palma. Up here to the north, we have Cumbre Vieja volcano. This volcano erupted. Yes, it erupted further down the spine of this island. Some of the volcano did not erupt, but it did erupt down here on the spine of the island. There were earthquakes over here before the volcano erupted. After the volcano erupted, you could see what happened. See all these black and gray areas here? That's where the lava came out of the volcano, where the lava came out of the vents. Then the lava made its way to the sea. And you can see how that happened here. Many communities, El Paso and Los Llanos, had been evacuated or partially evacuated because of what was happening here. Yes, we had people that were killed here from this eruption here. We had a lot of people who were injured. Lava that came out of the volcano damaged and destroyed homes here in Los Llanos and El Paso on La Palma Island here. Okay? We also are seeing minor earthquakes happening here in the Canary Islands almost every day. But again, USGS rarely reports on it. Let's go up to Iceland now. I want to report what happened in Iceland. It's unfortunate that USGS is not showing any earthquakes here, because we do have some seismic energy continuing here, especially over here in the volcanic region where we had the earthquakes and we had the volcanic eruption yesterday. The volcanic eruption stopped. The volcanic eruption stopped. Stopped dead. Stopped dead. The volcano erupted for about 10 hours, 10, 11 hours. Then it stopped. There's still lava over a huge field. There is a lava field out there over a large area, but it's no longer threatening communities. It's no longer threatening anybody. Okay? Not threatening anybody. This is Greenvik here, the town of Greenvik. Up here to the north, that's where the volcano erupted. That's where the volcano erupted. Let me show you pictures of what happened. Okay? Show you pictures of what happened here. This is where the volcano erupted yesterday. See these hills here? You can see these hills? These are earthen hills here. Earthen defense walls. These defense walls were put up by the authorities during the past several months. The volcano had not erupted since last November. The authorities had plenty of time to put up these walls around both Greenvik and also around Svartsengi power plant and the Blue Lagoon Spa. Now, when this volcano erupted, let me show you what happened. Let's zoom in here and enlarge this so you can see what happened here. This is important. See these hot areas, these gray areas? They're still very hot. The lava came out of the ground here at probably 1700 to 2000 degrees. This temperature will probably not be reduced to the extent where we can walk on it and be safe. The temperature here is going to stay very hot for possibly even years. Possibly even years. Now, where you see these defense walls, okay, over here, you see a building here, just to the left of that arrow, okay? That is a no longer used greenhouse. The greenhouse belonged to Greenvik. The greenhouse is not being used, it's abandoned. Just south of the greenhouse here, lava made its way through the defense wall, underneath the defense wall. And it only created maybe a 15 or 20 yard lava field on the inside of the defense wall. Did not go into the town of Greenvik. That's a good thing. Most of the lava stayed outside the defense wall, so we don't have to worry about it for now. But what I'm telling you is this. This lava field, this fissure could re-erupt. This fissure could re-erupt. As that huge lava reservoir or magma reservoir down underneath Svartsengi continues to fill up, this same fissure could re-erupt because this area is still very hot. However, let me take this down and show you another slide here. This is also important. See this red line that we've drawn here? The bottom of this red line is Greenvik. The bottom of this is Greenvik. Let me also enlarge this picture so you can see what I'm talking about here. As we move away from Greenvik, we go north here, don't we? Up here to the north, we have Svartsengi, the Svartsengi power plant, and the Blue Lagoon Spa. We honestly thought that this eruption would stay either west and south of the power plant or go north, because that's where a lot of the earthquakes occurred. But it didn't. The magma is coming from an underground feed over near Greenvik. It's moving north. This red line that we've developed here is showing you the path of the magma as it's heading north. The magma, since the eruption back in November last year, it's forcing its way north through bedrock. Forcing its way north through bedrock. Let me bring up my webcam again so you can show you what's going on here. Okay, magma is forcing its way through bedrock just like this. As it forces its way through bedrock, it's fracturing the rock, causing earth movement, earthquakes. It's hitting that rock and fracturing it, causing earthquakes. And as it fractures it, it develops a hole for the magma to continue through. And we probably are going to see this magma continue, and it's going to go north. And what we believe is going to happen. What we believe is going to happen. See this facility here? See the facility here, north of Greenvik here? North and west of Greenvik? That's the Svartsengi power plant and the spa. Guess what's going to happen? That's where the magma reservoir is. At some point in time, that magma reservoir is going to release more magma. And that magma is going to continue going through this bedrock, causing even more earthquakes. And eventually that magma will reach up to the ground. Right now, I believe it's trying to find a hole, make its way through a hole that it's making, working its way to the surface. We will see another eruption probably very soon, probably within the next 30 to 40 days. But that's what's happening. I wanted to tell you what's going on because now the eruption has stopped. Hopefully it's not going to start again anywhere near Greenvik. The town of Greenvik had been evacuated, but now they've allowed people to go back to the fish processing plants and some of their homes that they live in Greenvik. Okay? Right now the danger's over. Demon Catman has found another outlet, or it's slower in the magma tunnels. You're right. You're right. Also, there were samples of the lava that was taken. The scientists have found that the lava was very thick. Not viscous and running, but very thick. They think that the lava that was erupted yesterday was old lava, old magma down beneath the surface from the last eruption that was near Greenvik. That's what they believe happened. It was old magma down beneath the ground. The new magma forced its way up here. That's what they believe happened yesterday. But right now, the volcanic eruption just west and north of Greenvik is over. Okay? They don't believe it's going to continue here. Do we have any questions about that? Do we have any questions about that? Svartsengi. Folks, this graph here is kind of dark, I understand that. But I want to show it to you anyway. These are lines from the GPS sensors around Greenvik and going north towards Svartsengi. This is the magma coming into the magma reservoir. As you can see, it's moving north. Moving north to the magma reservoir. It's going to continue to fill. The magma is going to continue to fill that reservoir. At some point in time, that reservoir is putting out magma into those tunnels. Yes, there's going to be another eruption. We don't know when. The scientists at Greenvik from the Met Office don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. Okay? It will happen. Any questions about Iceland? Any questions about Iceland? Let's go back to the USGS map for a few minutes. There's some other earthquakes we need to talk about. Let's get rid of my crazy face here on the webcam. Let's back out of this part of the map here in Iceland. Let's go down here into the mid-Atlantic Ocean 2 days ago we had an earthquake down here at the southernmost part of the Antarctic Ridge, right down here. 2 days ago. That seismic energy now has forced its way up here through the Mid-Atlantic Ridge and over here into the central Mid-Atlantic Ridge here. This is a 5.2 large earthquake on the central Mid-Atlantic Ridge right between South America and Africa. Energy is moving north. It's going to continue. It's going to continue. Now, the USGS is not showing any earthquakes in or near Iceland. There are. Earthquakes are still hitting here, but those earthquakes in Iceland are few and far between now. They're not hitting as hard. Most of the earthquakes that are hitting Iceland right now are 1.2, 1.5, 1.7 tremors, 2.3, 2.5, 2.7 minor earthquakes, and even small 3.5, 3.7 small earthquakes in Iceland. Nothing big. Nothing big. Nothing to worry about at the present time. Now, let's go over here to the west here. I'm going to continue talking about earthquakes here. Over here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. This is near Cruz Bay, 66 kilometers north-northeast of Cruz Bay, U.S. Virgin Islands. This is a 3.4 small earthquake. 3.4 small earthquake. This earthquake is also 3.4 here, small earthquake. Okay, this is 67 kilometers north-northeast of Charlotte Amalie, U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay, let's go over here to Puerto Rico. Out here is southwestern Puerto Rico. This is an aftershock. This earthquake is an aftershock of two major man-made earthquakes that happened here back in 2019. December 26th and December 28th, 2019. This island was rocked by two major earthquakes, an 8.0 and an 8.4 earthquake. 8.0 struck on December 26th, the day after Christmas. The second earthquake struck on December 28th, 8.4, causing major damage. Major damage. Knocked down buildings, knocked down homes. People's lives were in danger and people lost their lives. Unreal. Man-made earthquake. We talked about this before. We're not going to talk about it tonight. Maybe another night. But this is a 2.2 minor earthquake here. Aftershock. An aftershock of that 8.0, 8.4 earthquakes that hit here just about 6 years ago. 5.5 years ago. Let's go over here to the Mona Pass here. Right between the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Folks, this is a 3.6 small earthquake. 3.6 earthquake here. Yes, we do see earthquakes in this region. This is normal. This is normal. This is 102 kilometers deep. This is a pretty deep earthquake. Pretty deep earthquake. We go north here. This earthquake is on a different level. This is on the Cayman Ridge. What do we know about the Cayman Ridge, guys? What do we know about the Cayman Ridge? The Cayman Ridge begins over in Guatemala here, in the Caribbean Ocean here in Guatemala. It reaches over here out into the Caribbean and moves north. It moves north right here. Then it continues eastbound. It goes east, south of the Cayman Islands here, north of Jamaica. It skirts the southern border of Cuba. It continues its eastbound trek over north of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. The Cayman Ridge continues eastbound north of Puerto Rico. This earthquake here was dropped off by the Cayman Ridge. This is a 3.6 earthquake here, dropped off by the Cayman Ridge. This earthquake here is related to Charlotte Amalie, also dropped off by the Cayman Ridge, as well as this earthquake here. This is normal, that is associated with the U.S. Virgin Islands. Again, these islands were made by volcanism beneath the surface. Okay? So we have earthquakes here. Okay? Let's move west. Let's move west. Southern Texas. This is a 2.93.0 earthquake here in Falls City, Texas. This is an aftershock. This is an aftershock. About a year ago, there was a 5.0 earthquake right here. This is an aftershock of that 5.0 earthquake here. We go north here. This earthquake is in Oklahoma. This earthquake, folks, is an oil and gas fracking operation quake. Oil and gas fracking operation quake. Let's zoom in here. I'll show you. There are all kinds of oil and gas platforms all over this area. What happens? When we have oil and gas platforms, we have seismic energy moving across the North American plate. When it comes to one of these man-made earthquake faults, i.e. a man-made drill hole pumping out oil and gas, these man-made earthquake faults are struck by this seismic energy and fractures the rock inside the drill point, causing Earth to move, and thus we have an earthquake. This is a 1.5 tremor here. This is east-southeast of Amber, Oklahoma. Oklahoma has 586,000 drill points. 586,000 drill points. We have usually dozens of earthquakes here every day or week. Okay? More earthquakes here in southwestern Texas. The same thing applies here. Oil and gas earthquakes here. Oil and gas earthquakes. This happens to be in Midland, Texas. This earthquake is also in Midland, Texas. We go westbound here. This is over near New Mexico, but this is in southwestern Texas, Toya, Texas here. This is a 1.6 tremor, and usually we have multiple earthquakes here. We have swarms here, but today there's just a 1.6 tremor here. Crazy, crazy. Let's move westbound. I promised to show you Southern California, and that's where we're going right now. I want to show you earthquakes in Southern California. Over here north of Los Angeles, Fillmore, California. This is a 2.1 earthquake. The 2.1 earthquake is over here just west of the San Andreas Fault. Just west of the San Andreas Fault. We go north up the Garlock. Right just north of this earthquake here is the San Andreas Fault, where it meets up with the Garlock Fault. Up here we have another earthquake here. This is Tehachapi, California. This is a 1.3 tremor here on the Garlock Fault. We go up to the north, up here to the southeast here. This is a 2.2 earthquake. This 2.2 earthquake is in Johannesburg, California, out in the middle of the Southern California desert. We go north here. Right here, Cyril's Valley. Cyril's Valley. This is just east of Ridgecrest. Just east of Ridgecrest. We go north here. More minor tremors here. This is a 1.5 Little Lake, California. This is a 2.1 Little Lake, California. 2.1 minor earthquake. This is a 1.2 Little Lake, California. We go up here to the north. This is a 1.3 tremor here, 30 kilometers east-northeast of Little Lake, up here in the mountains. This is 1.5 kilometers deep, by the way. We go further here to the west. This is Kozo Junction. This is a volcanic field, guys. These earthquakes here are in a volcanic field. This is a 1.2 tremor. This is 1 mile deep. 1 mile deep here. Folks, when we get earthquakes here, years and years ago, during the time that Senator Harry Reid was a senator, he authorized money to be spent to drill into the upper magma chambers of these volcanoes to obtain steam to power turbines to generate electricity. That's what they're doing here. This is just one more drill point here that Seismic Energy found, creating an earthquake here. Fracturing rock here in the drill point where there's a drill point, a hole in the ground, pumping steam out of the ground from the magma chambers of the volcano over to a turbine. That's what's going on. One more earthquake here. Back this out here. There's one more earthquake we want to show you here. Up here. This is also Koza Junction. This is a 1.4 tremor here. 1.4 tremor here. Look where it's at. This tremor is right next to right next to a volcano, isn't it? Right next to a volcanic vent. Years and years ago, when this area was erupting, each of these volcanic vents were erupting lava at some point in time. This is right next to one of the volcanic vents. Yes, the volcanoes are still active. The volcanoes are still active. The volcanoes are recharging. There's still magma here, and it's recharging the volcano. And I believe at some point in time, it's likely that we're going to see a volcanic eruption here in Koza Volcanic Field. Okay? That's what's happening here. All right? Let's go back down here in Southern California down here. The USGS is not even telling us about all the earthquakes here. There are 400 earthquakes plus here. 400 earthquakes plus here in Southern California, going from Los Angeles south into San Diego and also into the Imperial Valley of Southern California. This earthquake right here, Vincent, California. This is 1.2 tremor on the San Andreas Fault. On the San Andreas Fault. We come further down to the south. Right here, Little Creek, California. 0.3 microquake. Right next to it, 0.9 Devore, California. Microquake. This is a 1.1 tremor in Fontana, California. Well, guess what? They're not telling us all about the earthquakes here in Fontana. In a few minutes from now, I'm going to show you a seismogram showing you all the earthquakes here in Fontana. They're not even being honest. This is just a 1.1 tremor. I'm telling you right now. We have full-blown earthquakes. Full-blown earthquakes. 2.2, 2.5, 3.0, and 3.5 earthquakes here in Fontana today. They're not showing us anything here. But it's just a tiny tremor. They're full-blown earthquakes here. Up here also on the by the way, that is on the San Jacinto Fault, or right next to the San Jacinto Fault. Over here along the San Andreas Fault, San Bernardino. This is a 1.3 tremor here. There's all kinds of tremor activity here in San Bernardino, California. All kinds of activity here. Further south over here in San Jacinto, Loma Linda, California. They're showing a 1.3 tremor here in Loma Linda. Guess what? I'm here to tell you. There are minor earthquakes happening here in Loma Linda and also Mira Loma, California. Lots of earthquakes. I'm going to show you that on the seismogram as well. Down here into San Diego County. Actually, I'm sorry, this is not San Diego County yet. This is over in the San Bernardino Mountains still. Okay, Idlewild, California. I'm going to show you a seismogram here from Idlewild. Yes, we're showing you a 1.0 tremor, but guess what? It's not the only tremor here. It's not the only tremor here. Again, this agency cannot be trusted. Going further south here in the Anza Gap. This is actually just east of Fallbrook, California. Also on the San Jacinto Fault. 0.6 microquake. Right here. Also Fallbrook, California here. 0.7 microquake here. Nobody felt these quakes. These are microquakes. Over here in the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park, this is a 1.0 tremor here. Over here, also in the Anza-Borrego State Park. This is a 0.8 microquake. This is northeast San Diego County now. Northeast San Diego County. Right next to it. This is a 0.7 microquake here. Let's go down here into San Diego County. Okay? Julian, California. We talk about Julian, California all the time. Julian, California is an old rustic town, a cowboy town. This cowboy town at one point in time had mines here. They still have mines here. They mine gold and they mine silver here. They have abandoned mines here in Julian. But more than that, they have bed and breakfast here in the mountains. There's still snow on the ground here in Julian, California today. They have restaurants here and curio shops all over Julian. You can stop here for lunch and dinner and have a great dinner and eat a slice of hot apple pie from apples that were harvested here in Julian, California. Unreal, wonderful town. Here we have a 1.8 tremor here. Julian, California, East San Diego County. Further south here, can't wait to show you this. Chula Vista. This is East Chula Vista. Look what we have here. USGS says this is a 1.1 tremor. Guess what? This is in a quarry. This is an actual quarry blast. And again, USGS cannot even tell where an earthquake hits. They should have called this a quarry blast like it is. This is in a quarry. 1.1 tremor here in the quarry, a quarry blast. Okay? Sometimes they call a quarry blast over here in homes and also here in parks here in Chula Vista. Those are not quarry blasts, they're tremors here. Tremors here. I catch them all the time. I catch them all the time. Okay? Now I'm going to go over here and show you earthquakes around the Salton Sea. And I even have a small video, a very short video I may show you of what is going on here around the Salton Sea. Over here on the northeast side of the Salton Sea, this is a town called North Shore Salton Sea. I'm going to show you tremors here. The tremors are caused by what? The San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault. Further south here, the San Andreas Fault runs alongside the east side of the Salton Sea. Tonight I'm going to show you some pictures and a small video from Bombay Beach. This is Bombay Beach. Here the San Andreas Fault goes underneath the Salton Sea here. Bombay Beach, California. This used to be a very ritzy area. Back in the 50s and 60s, a lot of celebrities, including Hollywood stars, came down here to frolic in the water and play in their boats and everything else. They even fished. Now because of the toxic waste, the toxic fertilizer that's used out in the fields. This fertilizer has leached into the water of the Salton Sea. There are no more fish here. There are no more fish. They've been killed by the toxicness of the water and also the high salt content of the Salton Sea. Further south, way down here, this is where the San Andreas Fault comes out from underneath the Salton Sea. This is called Calipatria, California. I'm going to show you earthquakes here in Calipatria. Earthquakes here in Calipatria. Not just that. Well, I've got this picture up. I want to show you also what's going on here in Calipatria. We have geothermal plants here, just like we have over in Coza Volcano. Also, we have in the Geysers Complex in Sonoma County, California. These boilers here, these great big huge turbines here, take the steam from the Salton Butte volcano, process it, and create electricity here for Imperial Gas and Electric. There are 6 different turbine facilities here in Imperial Valley here. 6 different turbine facilities here. This is just one of them. This is just one of 6 turbine facilities here in the Imperial Valley. This is just south of the Salton Butte volcano. Let's back out here. Over here is the Salton Butte volcano. Underwater here in the Salton Sea. The Salton Butte volcano is very active. And yes, they say that the Salton Butte volcano could erupt at any point in time. Any point in time. Also here, more and more facilities here that take the steam, process it, and turn turbines to generate electricity for the Imperial Gas and Electric all over this area. There's another one right there. Right there. 6 different turbine facilities here in the Imperial Valley. We go further south and west over here. The San Andreas Fault, when it comes out from underneath the Salton Sea in Calipatria, it makes a southwesterly turn and follows the southern side of the Salton Sea over here, Westmoreland, California. I'm going to show you a seismogram from Westmoreland. We have earthquakes here as well. Here, the San Andreas Fault makes a southerly turn. Comes down here to the town of Imperial.
Class light, magnitude 4.4, 8 minutes ago.
4.4 over in the Philippines just a few minutes ago. This is the town of Imperial. I'm going to show you earthquakes here in the town of Imperial here. Okay? Over here further to the west and south, we have a town called, or city, pretty good sized city, called El Centro, California. I'm going to show you seismographs from El Centro as well. One of our own family members, the EMA family, lives here in the town of El Centro. He has always said that he and his family feel these earthquakes on a daily basis. I'm going to show you probably about 17 earthquakes here that were felt here in El Centro today. Not just that. Guess what? More earthquakes than that. Right over here. This is called Holtville, California. We have a seismograph here in Holtville. It's at the Salton Sea Desert Research Station here in Holtville. I'm going to show you earthquakes here as well. So let's get over here. Let's take this map down. Let's show you earthquakes everywhere. Literally everywhere. Because they are. Actually, before we do that, I don't want to take this map quite down yet. Before I show you this, I want to show you some other big earthquakes that have happened around the globe today. Because they have. And we need to address it. We'll come back here to Southern California in just a minute. Let's go over to southern Japan. Southern Japan was rocked by a very strong earthquake here. Right here. This is just offshore of southern Japan. This is another 6.2 very strong earthquake. There have been multiple aftershocks since this earthquake hit. This quake hit at 10:03 a.m. this morning. There have been multiple aftershocks, and USGS is only showing one of those. This was a very strong earthquake off the coast of southern Japan, Kyushu, Japan. This is a 4.7 aftershock here. This is 26 kilometers deep. This 6.2 is 26 kilometers deep. Both of these earthquakes originated from basically the same place. Now this is offshore. I don't believe anybody was hurt or killed here, but there may be some damage here in southern Japan. Not to be outdone. Let's go over here to Attu Island in the western Aleutian Island chain. Attu Island. This is a 5.5 large earthquake here. The 5.5 to 5.9 are considered to be very large earthquakes. This is a 5.5. This is 59 kilometers northwest of Attu Station, Alaska. There are some people that live at Attu Station here, but this is far enough out from Attu Station that I don't believe anybody even felt this quake. I don't believe anybody felt this quake at all. 59 kilometers is far enough distance. I don't think anybody felt this quake at Attu Station. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about anything we talked about so far? Let's go over to Southern California then. I'm actually looking forward to this. This is Bombay Beach. This is Bombay Beach, guys. Bombay Beach is basically a ghost town. There might be 20 people that live in this area constantly. Some people run a restaurant there. Some people run a small museum here. But it's basically a ghost town. There are a lot of people that visit here. There are a lot of people that visit here. Guess what? It's incredible too. It really is. Let me bring up a movie here. I want to show you some of this movie. This is the Salton Sea here, guys. It's an inland sea. It's about 442 miles of ocean water out here in the desert of Southern California. Unreal. It's huge. It's huge. Like I said, back in the heyday of the 40s, 50s, and early 60s, a lot of celebrities came here. But as you can see, very few people even come here. Handful of people every day. These people that were seen here got their bus stuck. They're going to pull it out. They're going to pull out their bus. Unreal. Okay? This is a device with a camera on it. When they pulled their bus out, they broke a electrical line, and they found that a bunch of rats had been eating on the electrical line as well. So they repaired it. Then they pulled their bus out. As you see, there are a lot of other people here. Some of these other people also get stuck. Now, they're on one side of the Salton Sea here. On the other side, you saw the Chocolate Mountains. The Chocolate Mountains separate Imperial Valley from San Diego County.
Feet below sea level. Now, this place isn't everybody's cup of tea, but if you enjoy oddities, it is for sure something to see. So Bombay Beach is on the Salton Sea, which is actually in the middle of the desert in California, 223 feet below sea level.
223 feet below sea level. Huge. Huge. It stinks. It stinks. It smells like sulfur, rotten apples, rotten eggs. Like I said, it's an abandoned ghost town. They even have themselves an outdoor church here. They have themselves an abandoned phone booth. They have all kinds of architecture out here, and even architecture people.
Mad Max or steampunk kind of vibe to it, but a lot of it speaks to the area that was abandoned and became, you know, kind of a ghost town. There's these random like electric and telephone poles like on the beach. They're not going anywhere anymore, but they're sort of left over from a time where there once was happening stuff here.
Evenings, and everywhere we go we find some new artwork. It's really cool stuff. And at night, most of them have solar lights set up, so almost all the artwork lights up. It's really cool. A rite of passage to get stuck in the sand. We've seen 3, 4, 5 people get stuck in the sand.
It feels like every day somebody's getting stuck.
And we're paying it forward already. Our friends got stuck in the sand, and we're going to try to pull them out with the Jeep.
You rake away all the sand, you try to put some wood underneath the wheels to get yourself unstuck. And then somebody pulls you out. Notice they get sand and dirt in the tailpipe. That's not a good thing. This area was covered by water at one time. That's why there's sand everywhere. Sand all over throughout the desert. Look how their Jeep pulled one of their friends' vans out of that sand. Incredible. Now they pull somebody else out. Like I said, this is an abandoned area.
Even with just one restaurant, one little market, and a community-run coffee shop.
Look at that. An airplane they made into a fish.
But obviously there are people living here.
The community's really embraced the history and kept this ghost town appeal. There's decay, there's art.
And look at this, a fake business here. Bombay Beach sold these International Airport. There is office furniture in there that dates back to years and years before.
Different nature.
They have all kinds of abandoned and small cargo bins there that they turn into museums and such like that. Talking about Bombay Beach and the Salton Sea.
The spirit?
It's actually working.
Yeah.
Do you remember how to use a rotary phone? How old are you?
Look at that, guys. This is Bombay Beach. These homes are abandoned. They're old mobile homes and such, manufactured homes, and they're abandoned now. Nobody lives here permanently. Nobody lives here permanently. This is Bombay Beach. Again, this is over on the eastern side of the Salton Sea, where I pointed that out. Let's go back here into Bombay Beach now. Let me show you a few pictures, and then we'll get into talking about earthquakes here in Southern California. This is apocalyptic art. Remnants of Bombay Beach here. Graffiti in almost all the buildings all around Bombay Beach. Okay, let's get out of these pictures and let's show you earthquakes here of Southern California. I want to go up to Los Angeles off the coast and show you seismic signals coming off of Channel Island. In the past few weeks, we've seen quite a few earthquakes, minor and small earthquakes here on Channel Island. That's not the case today. The biggest thing here is tremors. Biggest thing here on Channel Island are tremors. Yes, we had earthquakes here before, but now it's calmed down to tremors here at Channel Island today, just off the coast of LA. Over on San Clemente Island, basically the same thing, but less larger tremors. These are all of a sudden I'm burping, that's weird. These are tiny tremors, 1.1, 1.2, maybe 1.3 tremors here. Nothing much here at San Clemente Island. Let's continue. This is just off the coast of LA, by the way. Let's go over to desert in Bakersfield. This is over on the college campus, the university campus of Southern California, Bakersfield. They have a seismologist there, and they teach earthquake science here. Look what's happening here at Bakersfield. Again, we have mostly tremors here. Yes, we have had minor earthquakes here in Bakersfield. They have happened. This is on the San Andreas Fault. This is directly on the San Andreas Fault. Let's go over to San Jacinto. Okay? There's a place called San Jacinto campus in Hemet. Here we're seeing earthquakes here, but this is on the San Jacinto Fault. San Jacinto Fault. Here we're seeing good-sized tremors. I don't believe we have even a 2.0 earthquake here at San Jacinto campus. There is a law enforcement contingent here at San Jacinto campus. I've taught there. I've also taken a couple classes here at the San Jacinto campus. Here we're seeing just tremors here, large tremors. Now there may have been maybe a 2.0 earthquake that hit here about 1:18 this afternoon. Maybe a 2.0 earthquake then. That's about all. The rest of the time, this is all tremors here at San Jacinto campus. Let's continue here. I want to go over to Idlewild, up to the San Bernardino Mountains, where we showed you tremors here earlier. They showed one tremor there, a 1.6 tremor. Here we're seeing a bunch of tremors, but these are all 1.2, 1.3 tremors here. Yes, we have microquakes, but most of this is just tremor activity. Nothing big. But they're not showing us anything more than what they showed us there, just one. This is multiple tremors here in Idlewild. Okay? All right. Let's go over to Lancaster. Let's go north to Lancaster. Lancaster's on the Lancaster's on the San Jacinto Fault. Okay? This is Fox Airport. Look at the tremors hitting here. Okay? Last week we had a bunch of minor earthquakes here. Now we have nothing but tremors. Fox Airport northeast of Los Angeles. Let's drop over to Ranch Mirage further out in the desert. This is just east of the San Andreas Fault here, Ranch Mirage. Here again, we're seeing nothing but tremors. This is pretty typical here. Occasionally, we will get a small minor earthquake here. But here, we're seeing nothing but tremors here in Ranch Mirage. I'm going to take you now over to Riverside. Riverside has been very quiet recently. 4 years ago, we had tremors and minor earthquakes here in Riverside. What happens when the San Andreas Fault starts ripping up itself up here near Riverside? Riverside is going to be destroyed. When the San Andreas Fault opens up, it's going to open up with a 6.5 to 7.5 earthquake. A 6.5, 7.5 earthquake out here. Riverside is going to be destroyed. Okay? Those of you that live in Southern California, those of you like myself that have driven through Riverside and have friends and family here, know this. Riverside will be turned upside down when the San Andreas Fault opens up. And yes, it might happen as early as the summer. The San Andreas Fault is ripe and ready. It's locked and loaded. It's going to hit. It's going to hit very soon. Okay? Riverside, California will be destroyed. It will not be the same town as we see it today. There they have probably 400,000 or 500,000 people. It'll be turned upside down. Turned upside down here. Kristen Cashel, I'm sorry you have to scoot. God bless you. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Appreciate you a lot. Okay, let's go over to Chino. Want to stop in Chino. Look at this. Last week we had some minor earthquakes. We had some good-sized small earthquakes here in Chino before. Now we're not having anything but tremors. These are good-sized tremors here in Chino, California. Okay? Okay. I want to take you out to Victorville. One of our dear friends lives out in Victorville, Isaiah's granny. Victorville is right on top of the San Andreas Fault. Look at these tremors here. 1.2, 1.3, maybe 1.4 tremors here. We've had minor earthquakes here before. These are just tremors here in Victorville. Showing a lot of energy still on the San Andreas Fault. Okay, let's show you, let's go over to Los Angeles. Let's go over to Baldwin Hills. Baldwin Hills up to the northwest from Los Angeles. There's an oil pumping facility there. Back in the 40s, Baldwin Hills was a forest. They bulldozed the forest and turned it into oil and gas pumping opportunities here. This area here is a huge area. Probably 500 pumps and jacks all over what used to be the Baldwin Hills. They call it the Baldwin Hills Oil Refinery here. Pumps and jacks everywhere. But they have not shown it on a seismogram here for weeks, maybe months. What we're seeing here are tremors. 1.2, 1.3 tremors here in Baldwin Hills. Now this seismogram started at 5 a.m. this morning. This is typical of what they've been showing us here for weeks now. They're not honest with us, showing us what's going on. Now I believe there may be some monkey business going on. Knowing Caltech and the USPS as I know it, I believe they're hiding information, scrubbing information off the seismogram. There might be minor earthquake activity happening here. When we get minor earthquakes and larger, what happens here in the Baldwin Hills pumping facility? When we get earthquakes here in the LA area, It reduces the pressure of the pumps. It reduces the pressure of the pumps. And that pressure is tied into the earthquakes in this area. We may be seeing earthquakes here that they're not talking about. They've been messing with the seismographs here for weeks now. Weeks. This is just north of Los Angeles. Okay, let's take you over to Del Amo. Del Amo is a community just north of Los Angeles. Look what's happening here. We're not just seeing tremors. We're seeing tremors and minor earthquakes here. There's very little background of white here. That's because the colored stylus here showing us earthquakes literally day and night. It started here at 5 a.m. this morning. The black lines are our lines. The black top line is 5 a.m. You can see tremors happening here. 1.5, 1.6, 1.7 tremors. But we also, I'm seeing 2.0 earthquakes here as well. 2.0 minor earthquakes here as well. That's very typical for Del Amo. We've even seen 3.0 small earthquakes here in Del Amo in past weeks. Los Angeles is ready to go. Los Angeles is getting ready to go, guys. Okay? Let's go over to Ellis, California. The town of Ellis is also north of Los Angeles. Look what we're seeing here. We're seeing tremors. We're seeing minor earthquakes. Let me update this or enlarge this seismogram so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, look what happened here. We start seeing some activity about 6:40 a.m. this morning up here on the second blue line here at the top. 1.4, 1.5, 1.7 tremors. On the black line, you're seeing the same thing. On the blue line, you're seeing the same thing. Then we come down here to the blue line after 11 o'clock. This blue line after 11 o'clock is 11:30 on the left-hand side. Over here on the right-hand side, now we're seeing 11:40 a.m. this morning. Now we're seeing minor earthquakes. These are just not tremors, they are minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.4 earthquakes. 2.0, 2.4 earthquakes here. Minor earthquakes. You see some tremors here after 12 noon, 12:30 here. These vertical lines coming off these other lines are tremors. Then we drop down here on this black line here at the bottom. This black line here is 3 p.m. I pulled this seismogram just after 3:10 p.m. this afternoon. Over here on the left-hand side, 3 p.m. this afternoon. Just almost 3:01. What do we have? A 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Minor earthquake, but it's an elevated quake. Ellis, California. We've seen small earthquakes here at Ellis, California before. This is just a minor earthquake. 2.6, 2.7 minor earthquake. Ellis, California. Let's keep moving. I want to go out to eastern LA, out to Fontana. USGS map showed a 1.6 tremor in Fontana. Well, guess what? USGS is full of crap. Yes, there are 1.6 tremors happening here, but we're also seeing full-blown earthquakes. Full-blown earthquakes. Let's drop down here the top green line over on the left-hand side. That would be 5:45 a.m. Over here to the right, we have 5:55. 5:55 this morning. Guess what? This is a 2.9 3.0 earthquake. A 2.9 3.0 earthquake at approximately 5:55 this morning. 5:55 this morning in Fontana. This is on the San Jacinto Fault, just west of the San Andreas. When the San Andreas goes, it will activate the San Jacinto Fault as well. Both the San Jacinto and the San Andreas Fault will have like earthquakes. Like earthquakes. The ground is going to move in a big way over here. Now you're seeing minor earthquakes here as well. 2.0, 2.4 earthquakes. All throughout the seismogram, don't you? You see these longer vertical lines here? These are earthquakes. Earthquakes. Let's drop down here to the bottom black line here. The black and green lines, I should say. The dark green line here at the bottom, that is 4:45 this afternoon on the left-hand side. At 4:47 p.m., 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. We see 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes here as well. Then we go over here to the right. This is 2:57, actually 2:56 p.m. this afternoon. Guess what? This is a 2.9 3.0 earthquake. 2.9 3.0 earthquake at 2:56 p.m. this afternoon. Fontana, California. It's just not tremors here. USGS is lying through its teeth. They don't want anybody to know what's actually going on here. But I'm showing you not just tremors, I'm showing you earthquakes here in Fontana. This is what's actually going on. Coy's going to go good night. Have a good night, Coy. We appreciate you being here. Thank you for being here. God bless. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's go over to the coastline now, the southern coastline. Let's go over to here to Laguna Niguel. Look at this. Again, this is on the coastline. These are just tremors, minor tremors here along the southern coastline of Los Angeles. Very typical. Very typical. I just realized I don't have Playa del Rey here. Let me go here and pull up Playa del Rey. I usually show you Playa del Rey here. Playa del Rey is a coastal community along the northern coast of Los Angeles. They have earthquakes there as well. And unfortunately, I didn't catch it earlier. Let me see if they just avoided it, putting it up, or what. No, they got it. Playa del Rey and Marina del Rey to the north coast of Los Angeles. Let me show you what's going on here. What you're going to see here is larger tremors. Larger tremors here at Playa del Rey. And bring this up. This is it right here. These are larger tremors here. This is along the coast. There are a lot of homes here. Very expensive, multi-million dollars homes here in Playa del Rey. Also here along the coast, we have yachts and sailing boats. All over the slips here. But we're having tremors here. I've only seen one seismogram here where we had minor earthquakes here. It's been quite a while. But we still see seismic energy here in Playa del Rey, Marina del Rey area. This is North Coast Los Angeles. North Coast Los Angeles. Let's keep moving here. All right. Let's see here. I want to show you light hype. I want to go over here to Long Beach. Look here. We have tremors here. We're also having 2.0, 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes here as well. You can see them here. These longer lines are 2.0, 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes. Literally all over here. Look at the bottom here. Look at the bottom here. Okay, after 1500 hours, 3 p.m. 2.8 earthquake, 3 p.m. Just after 3 p.m., a 2.8 earthquake. After that, 2.5, 2.7 earthquakes as well. 2.0 earthquakes as well. On the green line on the right, the same thing. Minor tremors and very tiny earthquakes. Minor earthquakes. Okay? This is Long Beach. Long Beach. Let's go over to Anaheim. Let's go to State Street in Anaheim. Wait till I show you this. This will blow your mind. We've been having earthquakes here in Anaheim for quite some time. You're kidding me. Did I forget to bring up State Street here? Guess I did. Guess I did. Okay, let's bring up State Street here. I can't believe I forgot to bring up State Street. State Street is over in Anaheim, California, where Disneyland is. Disneyland and also Knott's Berry Farm. Folks, that's where a lot of people are. Millions upon millions of people live all around Los Angeles, and especially near the coastline. I've seen homes 200,000, 500,000, even upwards of $1 million over here in the Anaheim, Long Beach area. Unreal. Unreal. Let me show you State Street here. Can't believe I forgot State Street. That blows my mind. I don't think I've ever forgotten State Street, as long as I've been doing this program. Let me show you State Street now. Right here. Look at this, guys. Let me reduce this in size. Look at all the tremors and minor earthquakes here. State Street is moving. In past weeks, we've seen small 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes happening here in State Street. Over a month or so ago, we saw 4.0, 4.5 earthquakes hitting over here in Anaheim. It has. It's going to hit again. Okay? Earthquake faults all around LA. Literally. When the San Andreas Fault goes off on the east side, it's going to activate all these other earthquake faults. And we're going to see massive destruction here in Los Angeles. Literally all over. Literally all over LA. Okay? Let me see if I missed anything Los Angeles here now. Okay. One other place I want to show you in Los Angeles, and then we're going to go down to the Imperial Valley, where I'm going to show you earthquakes in Bombay Beach. Guys, this is Walnut La Puente on the eastern side of LA. This is the volcano. This is the volcano over in eastern Los Angeles. Folks, there are million-dollar homes over here in Walnut La Puente, California. They're built on the top of a volcano. Look what's happening here. Look what's happening here. Let's move over here to the top. On the top blue line, about 5:35 this morning, we had an earthquake sequence, didn't we? That earthquake sequence lasted 2 minutes. They cut off the top and the bottom of this sequence here. This was at least a 3.0, 3.5 earthquake early this morning. People felt it. People's beds shook. People's beds and furniture shook here.
Panama, Costa Rica border region, class light, magnitude 4.1, 36 minutes ago.
Central America 4.1 over in the Panama, Costa Rica border region. But look what's happening here, guys. Another earthquake at 5:56 a.m. this morning. That one lasts another minute and a half there. At least a 3.0, 3.5 earthquake there. Look at all these other earthquakes. Look on this red line here, the second one from the top. This sequence lasted 5 to 7 minutes. This sequence lasted 5 to 7 minutes. Here they cut off the top and the bottom of this sequence. We don't have any definitive idea how strong this quake was. But residents have reported that it was at least a 3.5, 3.8 earthquake, meaning a very felt earthquake. 3.5, 3.8 earthquake here in La Puente, Walnut, California. Look at all these other earthquakes that continue to hit every hour, every half hour, all day long. The last one we have here is this afternoon. Just after 3:08 p.m. this afternoon. Again, this is at least a 3.0 earthquake. 3.0, 3.2 earthquake. Small earthquake. Small earthquake. And you can see all these other earthquakes here. They're even larger than that. Unreal, guys. Walnut La Puente sits on top of a volcano. At some point in time, that volcano is also going to erupt. Right now, all those people are feeling is the earth shaking beneath their homes, beneath the sidewalks where they walk. Okay? Los Angeles, guys. Eastern Los Angeles. Let's go down into San Diego County. Let's go down to San Diego. Let's go over to San Diego City. This seismograph you're seeing here was made over at a seismograph sitting at the SDG&E building just north of San Diego City. Just north of the San Diego main city. Look what we're seeing here. Tremors. What is happening here in San Diego City? There is a very strong earthquake fault here. What we're seeing is just tremors here. However, this is the Rose Canyon Fault coming out of Los Angeles. The Rose Canyon Fault runs on the western side of the coastline of San Diego and Los Angeles. It comes off of the Newport Inglewood Fault in Los Angeles. The Rose Canyon Fault runs down the coastline towards Encinitas, California. Then the Rose Canyon Fault turns inland, runs right along the coastline, all the way down here into San Diego City. So what we're seeing here are tremors on the Rose Canyon Fault. Yes, we've seen full-blown earthquakes, small and minor earthquakes here at the San Diego Gas and Electric Building before. Today it's just tremors. Just tremors. Let's go out to San Diego East County now. Good old San Diego East County now. Right here. This is the top of the Chocolate Mountains. This is East San Diego County, Cuyamaca High School. Here we're seeing a bunch of tremors, aren't we? The top of the Chocolate Mountains here. Cuyamaca Mountains. Cuyamaca High School here. Nothing but tremors. Here we're seeing the San Jacinto Fault here. I showed you a little bit about the San Jacinto Fault up around Fontana. Down here we're seeing just tremors here before. Okay? Let's go further south a little bit further into South San Diego County. This time I'm going to show you a seismogram from Campo Elementary School in southeast San Diego County. Here, look at this. This is Campo Elementary School. Look at the tremors hitting here. No, we don't have anything major, but we have 1.7, 1.8 tremors here, as well as smaller tremors than that. This is southeast San Diego County, Campo Elementary School. Campo Elementary School here. Let's go over to the Imperial Valley on the eastern side of the Chocolate Mountains. Guess what? Guess what we're going to see? Let's look at North Shore Salton Sea. I showed you at the beginning where this town was. This town is about 1,000, 2,000 people now. Didn't used to be. Used to be maybe 2,000, 3,000. Look what's happening here. Here we have the San Andreas Fault. These are just tremors here. These are just tremors. Let's go further south. Let's go to Bombay Beach. Look at Bombay Beach, guys. The San Andreas Fault here. I showed you a little bit about Bombay Beach earlier. I showed you some pictures, and I also showed you a short video of what's going on at Bombay Beach. Nobody lives there permanently, or very few people live there permanently. Look at the earthquakes that happen here every day. I've shown you earthquakes on various days that happen. And these earthquakes are not limited to any one specific day. They happen every day, all day long. And yes, here we're seeing the tops and the bottoms of these seismic sequences cut off. 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here. 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes, maybe a little bit larger than that. Look at that. These are just not even short duration earthquakes. These are longer duration earthquakes, 3 to 4 minute long earthquakes. How would you like to have the ground shake for you for that long a time period? Having your dishes rattle around in your cupboards, and possibly even have your dishes break or slammed into the glasses into each other, having them break in your cupboards. How would you like to see your silverware or hear your silverware being thrown around inside a cabinet, inside a drawer? That's what happens here all day long. That coffee shop I showed you earlier in that video, I'm sure they have silverware there. I'm sure they serve more than just coffee. probably donuts or other pastries. I'm sure they have silverware there and other utensils. All that is shaking here. All that is shaking. It happens every day here. All day long. All day long. Let's go to Calipatria now. Let's go south to Calipatria. That is where the San Andreas Fault comes out from underneath the Salton Sea. Good old Calipatria. Wait till I show you this. This is a USGS seismogram. Not by Caltech, but USGS. Look what we're seeing here. For the first time that I've been showing you the Calipatria seismogram, we're seeing tremors up here. Usually we see full-blown earthquakes here during the late day hours of the previous day. This particular seismogram starts off at 1:45 p.m. yesterday afternoon. These are tremors. These are tremors here. The tremors continue all evening and all morning long. Over on the left-hand side, you see midnight there. The tremors get less and less through the midnight hours, darkness hours here. Now, I think that might be faulty. What I think is the seismologist turns down the sensitivity on this seismograph. Thus, we're seeing just tiny tremors here because what happened earlier. We've seen this happen before. Before 10 p.m., we see all kinds of tremors and earthquakes. That's what we're seeing here. But after 10 p.m., between 10 p.m. and 7 o'clock in the morning, all we see is tiny events. That, what I believe is happening, the largest seismic activity is pushing itself up, trying to make it through the turndown of the electronics of this machine. We're still seeing activity, but the seismic activity has been turned way down on the electronics of the seismograph, just barely showing anything. But what happens after 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning? Look at that. Then the tremors get larger, don't they? They absolutely do. Over on the right-hand side, on the dark blue line here, that would be 6:15 on the left, and over here on the right would be 6:29 a.m. yesterday morning. We see our first 1.8, 1.9 tremor. 1.8, 1.9 tremor. Nearly a 2.0 earthquake. Then as the morning goes on, the tremors get bigger. They turn into 2.0, 2.2 earthquakes here. We see a 2.2 earthquake after 2 p.m. this afternoon. We see 1:45 p.m. on the left-hand side. Directly after that is a blank line. That's 2 p.m. So 2:01 p.m. our first 2.0, 2.1 earthquake. Then after that, we come over to 2:45 over here on the right-hand side. They have red lines drawn through them. The red lines are drawn by the computer to get the attention of the seismologist. Folks, here we're seeing 2.5 earthquakes back to back within about 30, 40 seconds of each other. 2.5 earthquakes here. We usually have large earthquakes than that. They may have turned down this machine as well. They may have turned down this machine, not turned it up completely. Because we've seen this happen before. Now I'm going to come over here and make this seismogram small, because the others are small. I don't want them dwarfing this and having to fight to give you a good look at what's going on here in the Imperial Valley. As I said, this is Calipatria. This is where the San Andreas Fault comes out from underneath the Salton Sea. Let's go over to Westmoreland now. Good old Westmoreland. Westmoreland is where the San Andreas Fault makes a southwesterly turn at Calipatria, and it follows basically the lower side of the Salton Sea. Let's take a look at Westmoreland now. This is Westmoreland, guys. Look at Westmoreland now. Yes, you see tremors. We see some minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes. But here, for the first time today, just after 9:45 a.m., about 9:49 a.m. this morning, 3.0 earthquake. 3.0 earthquake. A minute and a half later, we have a 1.8, 1.9 tremor. Shortly after that, we have another 3.0 earthquake, and then another within about 10 seconds later. Small earthquakes here. Small earthquakes here in Westmoreland. That's pretty typical. That's pretty typical. Then we go back to tremors again, all day long. We had at least 2 to 3 small earthquakes here. Guess what? Let's go take a look at the city of Imperial. Let's go take a look at the city of Imperial here. Look at this, guys. After coming over here to Westmoreland, the San Andreas Fault then turns southeasterly. Comes down here into the town of Imperial. Look what we see here. More tremors and 3.0 earthquakes here as well. These 3.0 earthquakes start happening earlier in the morning. This time after 6:18. 6:18. 2.9, 3.0 earthquakes. 6:18 this morning. They were long duration quakes, some of them lasting 2.5 to 3 minutes. And more earthquakes happening like that after 6:30 on the blue line over on the right hand side. 6:40 this morning, 3 more 3.0 earthquakes. Then about 6:56, we have another one. Actually, no, it wouldn't be. On the blue line here, this would be 6:43 this morning. Another 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. That sequence doesn't stop. It started at approximately 6:40. 6:45 and continued on. Over here on the left-hand side at 6:45 on the green line, look at this. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake, minor earthquake. Then about 2 minutes later, 6:47 on the green line, 3.0 earthquake. Further over here on the right-hand side, 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. Okay, look at this. Then we have tremors the rest of the day. This is the town of Imperial. Let's look at El Centro now. Let's go west and look at southwest and look at El Centro. El Centro, we do not have the San Andreas Fault to do anything with. These earthquakes are coming from western San Diego County. Let me show you what's going on here. Imperial guys, and now El Centro. We have 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes happening here in El Centro every day. Every day. Today there are about 40 of them. There are about 40 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes here. Usually we have 15 to 20. Here we have close to 40. Literally all day long. All day long. From 5:30 this morning, all day long. Look at that. This is El Centro, California, and this started about September last year. This kind of seismic energy started September last year. Part of this is we also have magma beneath the ground coming from the Pacific, running underneath the ground through San Diego County, coming out here. Where you see these lines connected, we see a curly line connecting some of these earthquakes. That is a magma earthquake. Then we know it's a magma-induced earthquake. Not all of these are magma-induced earthquakes. But we have about 40 earthquakes here today in the town of El Centro. How would you like to live here? As Juanito and his family do. I have friends and relatives all over this valley. They feel these earthquakes every day. It didn't used to be the case. El Centro didn't have this before September last year. Since September, this has been happening every day. Started off with 5 to 10 earthquakes and got larger and larger and larger. 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes every day, just like this. One more place I want to show you, and it's called Holtville. Holtville is where the Salton Sea Desert Research Station is. Holtville, California. Let me show you that. This is Holtville. Look at this. The largest earthquakes we have here are 2.0 minor earthquakes. Most of this is all tremor activity. Most of this is all tremor activity. Occasionally we will have minor earthquakes and even small earthquakes here. We have had that. We have had those kind of earthquakes here in the past few weeks. But here we have the largest being a 2.0 and all the rest being tremors. This is what's happening in Holtville, California. Does anybody have any questions for me? Anybody have any questions for me about what I've told you tonight and shown you tonight? Catherine will be praying for you. Hope it all goes well. The doctors can heal you. None of your questions are stupid questions. They're all very important questions, guys. These are all very important questions. I don't count them as dumb or stupid. All your questions are important. Yes, you deserve to know what's going on, Catherine. Unfortunately, a lot of these doctors don't give us the honest answers. And then you live in Canada. You're lucky a doctor is even able to see you. From what I've been told, some people have to wait months, even almost a year, to see a doctor for an MRI or a CAT scan. Catherine, I'm healed from cancer. About 2 years ago, I had cancer. And within 6 months of treatment, I was cleared of cancer completely. I saw my doctor on March 25th. They did tests, and the test came back negative. I don't have cancer. Al Newton says the only bad question is one you don't ask. I'm happy to answer any questions. I've showed you all over the world where we've had large to very strong 6.0 earthquakes south of Japan. I've shown you all of Southern California now. I made special attempt to show you Bombay Beach, as I've tried to show you what is going on at the Salton Sea before. I have all kinds of pictures to show you around the Salton Sea. It's unreal. Unreal. Demon Catman is telling you about how to be a member of our community here on YouTube. Right below this video here in the top of our program description, there's a link that you can click and follow to get to be a member of this program. We'd love to have you as a member of our program. Also, folks, right below that is our email address. Right below that is also where you can see our mailing address, like you see it here, that's going through your screen right now. 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. You can drop a letter, drop a card, and put a donation wrapped in the letter or put inside a card, and those cards will get to us. People send us cards quite a bit, or they have in the past. Something you can also do, right below our address, in the top of our program description, you're going to see 3 addresses, 2 PayPal addresses and a Venmo address. We'd appreciate your contributions to help keep this program on the air. It takes money to show you guys this information. When I first started broadcasting some 6 years ago, yes guys, tomorrow, it'll be 6 years that I've been on the air. When I first started broadcasting, I had it good. But I soon found out that you had to have bandwidth to broadcast on the air. And what have I done? I've continued broadcasts. And the cost of coming up on the air has risen. I'm paying $253 a month just to be able to come on the air with you. $253 a month to come on the air with you every day. I love you guys. That's why I'm here. I care about you. I care about your families as well. But folks, we can't do it by ourselves anymore. We need your help. We'd appreciate that. I got rid of our post office box because we didn't have people writing us enough to even make it worth having it. Now I'm giving you this address here, where we can get mail from you. We'd appreciate that. We've had cards and letters in the past. We've had packages from you guys. You guys know I love trains. You guys know I love even lighthouses. I do. I love trains and lighthouses. Carol loves lighthouses. She gets a kick out of it. She does. But guys, I love trains. You guys have sent me train memorabilia quite a lot over the past few years. I also have a rock collection. Sandy from San Francisco started sending me rocks because I lost my rock collection to my ex-wife and children. Sandy sent us rocks 6 years ago. Now I have a good rock collection here. Very nice rock collection. I appreciate that. I appreciate everything you've done to help me here with our program and keeping it on the air. May God bless you all. May God bless you all. Catherine, please be careful. Catherine says she has a 9-hour drive to see a specialist on June 4th in Winnipeg. Be careful. God bless you. God bless you. I wish I could be there to lay my hands on your head and give you a blessing from the Savior. God bless you all. I love you. I love you all. That's why I'm here, because I care. I truly care. A lot of people say that, but do they really? Do they really? I really do. Brothers and sisters, I love you. Right before I leave you tonight, I have prepared some scriptures to share with you. One of these scriptures is in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 8, 9, and 10. Again, this is Paul talking to the Corinthians here. In verse 8, 9, and 10. Say I these things as a man, or saith not the law the same also? For it is written in the law of Moses, Thou shalt not muzzle the mouth of the ox that treadeth out the corn. Doth God take care for oxen? Or saith he it altogether for our sakes? For our sakes, no doubt this is written, that he that ploweth should plow in hope, and that he that thrasheth in hope should be partaker of his hope. We have to thresh. We have to sow. Then we can harvest what we put out. Let's do that, brothers and sisters. Now's the time to do that. Start preparing for a harvest late summer, early fall. Plant some plants. Carol and I are going to try to do that again. We have seeds left over from last year that we're going to plant again. Please plant. Please do that. Let the Lord bless you with what you have. Vegetable prices and everything else are going up. They're going to continue. Let's start raising our own food. Let us eat what we plant. Let us do what we prepare, and we talk about preparedness as well. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's not just be hearers only. Let's be doers. Let God help us. Let God help us. Brothers and sisters, it's my belief, and you may also feel this as well. It's my belief that the Savior is about to return. I believe the Savior is about to return. Let's get ready. Let's do everything in our power to make sure us and our children are ready for the Savior's return. God be with you this night. God bless you. God be with you until we meet again. We will see you on the other side. Have a good night, everybody. Much love. We'll see you on the other side. Good night. Take care.